Good morning, it's Jocelyn from JJescapes, and right now we're in the city of Florence here in Italy.
Gelato in Florence is really better.
There's one thing that people come to Florence for more than leather handbags, and that is steak. This is completely on a different level. In this video, we're going to be trying out the world famous Fiorentina steak as well as other local delicacies.
One of the most amazing bites of meat in the entire world.
And show you why you can't miss the city while you're here in Italy. Let's go! Our first meal here in Florence, and we've come to a restaurant called Trattoria Zaza. It's a very, very famous restaurant here in Florence, in the Duomo area. The line is incredible. We reserved 3 months in advance, and you still have to wait in line. So we finally got our table and we ordered the steak. Bistecca #1. Because this is the first one, I'm going to explain what a bistecca is. Bistecca comes from a Tuscan steer or cattle, and it's the T-bone. The T-bone consists of both the sirloin on one side and the tenderloin on the other side. Where the T-bone at the world's best steakhouse in Argentina, Don Julio's, it was amazing, but this is completely on a different level. It's at least, what's that, 4 inches thick. For some reason at this restaurant, you do have to order a separate version of the bistecca to get the tenderloin. So on this plate, I have 1 piece of the tenderloin and 1 piece of the sirloin. As you can see, bistecca in Florence is served rare. There is no other option. Okay, there is another option in this restaurant, but actually there's no other option. You have to eat it the way it's meant to be eaten. I think I'll try the tenderloin first. I'll cut myself a slice. It's so tender. You don't even need a knife. Wait, let me try something. You don't need a knife. Super pink on the inside. There's a little bit of sinew, but the char looks amazing. The smell is incredible. So beefy. Oh, I forgot to add that bistecca has to be aged at least 2 weeks. I think it's added a little bit of the dry aged flavor to it. Here goes very first bistecca here in Florence. Oh my god. The tenderloin is so flavorful. The smoky aroma has penetrated the meat. It's served rare, so it's not hot in the middle, it's slightly warm. The outer crust is incredible. I think it's just salt and pepper, full of smoky flavor. They cook the bistecca by putting the steak almost entirely on the wood to get a perfect sear. And then they tilt the bone upwards, like that. Allow the heat to travel up the bone and cook the meat from the inside. That's a pro move right there. Let me try the sirloin. Same incredible smoky texture. The flavor of the beef is intense. Concentrated beef flavor. Perfect first piece of meat here in Florence. But another dish. Over here we have wild boar Parpadelle. So wild boars are very famous here in Tuscany. They supposedly rampage on the fields, so I'm doing them a favor by eating the wild boar. It's a kind of ragu and then cooked with this very thick Parpadelle pasta. Smells like ragu. I think it has some vegetables, tomatoes, and carrots. Tastes very similar to ragu, but has a little bit more like gamey taste. The pasta is al dente as usual. Moist, salty, meaty, almost beefy in taste. Doesn't hit the pork at all, but absolutely delicious. Everything here is amazing.
We just arrived in Florence, and the first thing that we got is some gelato. We came from Rome, and our Airbnb host said that gelato in Rome is disgusting, but Florence has the best gelato. We came to this place called Mancuso Gelato, just some random gelato off the street. First thing you notice is that the gelato is not piled high, like the decorative gelato that you see. I got 2 flavors. The first flavor that I got is the pistachio, because I love pistachio. It's so good. The flavor of the pistachio is so strong, it's so milky, and it's so thick. It's just so good. I've never had such good pistachio ice cream before. And the second flavor that I got is their specialty. Everybody in line was getting this flavor called cannolo. Essentially, it's gelato that's made out of ricotta. There's some mix-ins like some biscuit, some pistachio. That is good. Ricotta in Italy is not like ricotta in Singapore. A ricotta here is so creamy. It's not like the weird crumbly ricotta that you get from the grocery stores. It's creamy, slightly cheesy. The mix-ins add like a really good crunch. Gelato in Florence is really better. It's just so good. Excellent start to our trip here in Florence. This is delicious.
Okay, right now we're in the Duomo district here in Florence, Italy, and it's called the Duomo district because... yeah, it's obvious. But over there, blocked by all the stalls, is Mercato Centrale, which is the central market here in Florence, and apparently they sell lots of fresh produce and a lot of food. So let's go check it out. On the first floor here, you have the equivalent of an Asian wet market, but it's not wet at all. The floor is completely dry. And they sell mainly raw ingredients like meat, cheese, and anything else that you need to cook. And upstairs, we have the food area. Let's see what we can find. Okay, now we're on the second level here at Mercato Centrale, and over here, we've got ourselves a feast. We've got 3 different items of 3 very different types, shall we say. The first time I'm going to try is this because it needs to be eaten fresh. So this is called Lampredotto, and it's a sandwich made out of beef stomach, specifically the 4th stomach. I'm not sure what all the stomachs do, but this one's made from the 4th one. The cow stomach is cooked in a broth of tomatoes, onions, parsley, and a bunch of other herbs. He takes it out of the broth, chops it up into little pieces, kind of like a taco, and then places it on the bread. But the pro move is that he actually dips the top piece of the bun into the sauce. This sandwich is filled to the brim with thin slices of the stomach. He put a little bit of sauce on it, I'm not sure what it was, and then he asked me whether I wanted it spicy or not. Of course I said I wanted it spicy. So here goes, Lampredotto. Okay, not very salty, a little bit gelatinous, a little bit gamey, very interesting texture. There's a bit of like a green salsa, which gives it the saltiness. Goes perfectly with the stomach, very delicious, and it's no wonder this is one of the most popular street foods here in Florence. Moving on from the cow stomach, we move to the chicken. Over here we have chicken liver pate, spread atop Florentine bread. Smells like liver. I'm not sure what else to say, but I'm just gonna give it a try. It's cold, salty. The chicken liver adds a depth of flavor to the pate. Extremely delicious. Last up, fish balls. I mean, fried olives. It kind of looks like donut holes that you get at Tim Hortons, but probably way more delicious. There's a distinct olive smell coming out from it. I'm gonna give it a try. Oh. Okay, this is the best dish so far. Deep fried olives stuffed with beef and pork. You can see how much fillings they put inside. They're not scrimping on this. This is not the olive with the stupid little tomato that you get. The fried skin is so thin, so crispy, so flavorful, and it pairs super well with the saltiness and the brininess of the olive. Absolutely delicious. The second floor is not that big. There's actually only like 15 to 20 stalls here. A lot of them are still opening because they're here in the morning, but go anywhere, you're going to be getting extremely delicious Florentine street food.
For dinner tonight, we're here at Antico Ristorante Paoli, which was founded in 1827 and might be even older than Italy itself. They're famous for the Fiorentina Bistecca, which we're definitely going to get. We heard that it could be a tourist trap, but we're going to find out if that's true. Does this sound weird?
So while waiting for our food, one thing that I'm extremely disappointed with Italy about is their bread. The mood lighting is starting. Extremely disappointed with the bread. Every time you get bread here, it's cold, it's tasteless, it's hard. The sandwich bread is so delicious, but this is what they give you when you get to the table. Extremely disappointing. Hopefully the mains will make up for that.
For our starter, we got a tomato soup, which is a very traditional soup in Florence and is thickened with bread, I think. The soup is very thick. I can see chunks of tomatoes inside and some herbs. The tomatoes here are actually really good. You can taste that it's a bit tangy, a little bit sweet, full of flavor. This is a great starter and also a great dish to have in the cold weather here in Florence.
Okay, our steak has arrived. Again, Bistecca Fiorentina. Today we ordered a special kind of steak from a white cow. I'm not sure what it is. The lady was describing how it was the biggest cow in the world. It seems a bit sad to be eating it, but too bad. Again, for the Fiorentina steak, it is served rare only. It comes as a T-bone, which on one side has the tenderloin, and on the other side is the sirloin. It's cut into thick cuts of beef. The char looks incredible. It's like blackened, finished with salt on the top. So much smoky flavor, so much beefy smell, it's incredible. I'm gonna try the sirloin first. Look at that, the marbling of the steak is crazy. Cut up a piece. Cooked to perfect rare. It's super pink on the inside. Some might say it's completely raw, but that's how they eat it here. So here goes steak number 2 here in Florence. Oh my god. The beefiness explodes in your mouth. So juicy. The crust is hard, blackened, salted, perfect combination of textures. Beefiness is out of this world. It's insane. Part number 2. Tenderloin. So tenderloin is actually the spinal muscles of the cow, which is a very, very lazy muscle. Hence, you can see there's not much fat inside, but because it's a lazy muscle, it's extremely tender. Again, cooked with a perfect sear on the outside. It's so tender, it's seasoned perfectly. It's the best piece of steak I've ever had. Cooking it rare is the secret. Like, it's so tender. I have no more words to describe how incredible that is. One of the most amazing bites of meat in the entire world. Definitely don't miss out on Fiorentina steak when you're here in Florence. Insane, incredible. One of the most popular places to eat here in Florence is Antico Vinaio. We already tried it in Rome, so I'm not going to try it again. But if you're coming to both Rome and Florence, don't go to the one in Rome because you have to queue up for an hour and there's no line here. To see our review on the sandwich, check out our video on Rome. Who am I kidding? I still had to get one.
We inform you that if you would like to file a complaint, you may fill in the web form on www.Florentine.
Another night, another steak. It's our final night here in Florence and we've come to a restaurant called Osteria di Giovanni. It's much less crowded than all the other steak restaurants along the main street, but it has very good reviews on Google. So we're going to give it a try and see how it compares to the other 2 steaks that we've had. We just arrived in the restaurant and we got a private tour of their wine cellar. It's huge, there are some tables there meant for special occasions, and the best wine that they had down there cost 140,000 euros for one bottle.
104,000 euros. For bottle.
I don't even know what it's called. The menu looks really small, so I have high hopes for this restaurant. This is the best bread that we've had in Italy so far. It's warm, crispy, soft on the inside, salted. Excellent start to the meal.
Oh wow! Oh my god! Oh, so good! Grazie, grazie, grazie.
Final steak in Florence. This is a bone-in ribeye, which is different from the other steaks that we had. The past 2 steaks that we had been T-bones. which consists of a sirloin and a tenderloin. This one just consists of a ribeye. What? It smells amazing. You can smell the char, you can smell the beefiness. Okay. This is cooked to a perfect rare. There's no other way here in Florence. The outside is salted. The beefiness comes through a lot. It's so tender. It's so juicy. This one comes with a side of potatoes. Oh, the potatoes are good. I think they're just deep fried potatoes, seasoned with a little bit of salt. So soft and fluffy. I think the potatoes pair so well with the steak. Oh, that's good. Definitely give Giovanni's a try. The service here is outstanding and steak is delicious.
And that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you in the comment box down below. Thank you and see you on the next video. Woo! Right now, when the Duomo jurisdiction. So this dish is called, I forgot what it's called. Parsley and a bunch of other spices. Why is that a bird?
It's gelato that's made out of. There are a lot of bikes here.